Hello, everybody. Welcome to, I believe it is episode 33 of the Freeskates podcast. We did take a couple weeks off due to some traveling of mine and some prepping for that traveling, but we are back in full swing with an episode all about our memories at JMKRIDE. So we have John here. I'm assuming most of you know who John is. Say hello, John.
Hello.
So John is co-owner of JMKRIDE, co-founder as well, and happy to have him on here to reminisce on some times of just growing the sport over the last 3 years or so, and then more for him. So I'll say hello to some of you in the chat. What's up, Chris B? Yes, it has been a long time no chat. What's up, Tech? What's up? I believe it is Michael. I was not there when you came down, but hello. Nice to see you here. So dramatic. I feel like I'm waiting for Elvis to come on stage. Yeah, maybe I should give a little bit of a 5-minute buffer, like every time we start. Tech, hey, yes, I'm gonna like your videos, show them with the dirty bearings. I have not seen that. Somebody sent me a link. But okay, so we can jump right into some stuff. If you guys want to contribute in some way to the combo, please feel free as we go through these. I'd say the first one, John, do you want to start us off with one?
Yeah, I guess let's address the elephant in the room, and I think what many people will think should be our top one, I guess, would be, and that would be our trip to Braille. Specifically, I think the first trip that we went there, I think we all kind of went in there with no real knowledge of what was going to happen, how it was going to be, and the impact that it was going to have. And we had seen a video that they had made with some like plastic wannabe free skates that had like a bar between them and that it was detachable. And someone on Twitter actually reached out to us and they're like, hey, have you guys seen this video? You guys should go on Braille. And we're like, you're right, we should.
We need to go back and see who that Twitter person was, because that.
Yeah, I know who they were. I think it's like at Nature's Pork or Pure, something like that. I can find it. We ended up sending him a free pair of skates, and I think cool. He ended up giving them to his cousin or something like that. But it was really cool. It was just a little random comment that we were like, okay, let's see what happened there, and ended up in a trip to Braille where that kind of helped give us a really nice kickstart.
A little bit of a spark there. The rest is kind of history too. We need the next Braille to happen.
Yeah, I heard they're going to be revamping the Braille House yet again.
It's been like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, disappointed we didn't get there this time. We'd love to get some street skaters out there and see what they could do there.
I'll film every second of it. I won't do any of that street skating. Or at least I don't think I will. Thank you, Tech, for watching it. It was a fun video. Yes, again, I would like to see that. So cool. So we have touched on Braille. I think that is a very, very obvious one. Pretty huge for JMK. Where could we transition from there? I would say another pretty big one. One that I have been there for once is the traveling. So I'd say Braille kind of falls into that category, but when I say traveling, I'm kind of alluding to
abroad.
Yeah, like overseas land, like Japan, China, even Mexico. I know that's not overseas, but traveling in general has been huge. So the one that I can speak on is China. There are a couple of videos on YouTube about that experience, but just, I don't know. That was my first time running into a ton of free skaters that kind of knew what they were doing. And it was kind of overwhelming, but it was a huge inspirational. Surreal, inspirational, also educational experience on just context of who everyone is. So I'd encourage everyone here, like if you ever have the opportunity to even just visit JMKHQ, travel and visit some free skaters, it's an eye-opening experience to kind of meet with these like-minded people in person.
It's one thing to see them on Instagram, to see them on YouTube, but like to actually, that's June right there in front of my face. June is literally coming up to me to say hi, and like you mentioned in your video on YouTube, it's like, no, they know who we are too, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's one thing to see them on Instagram, to see them on YouTube, but like to actually
No, they know who we are too, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's weird. So I mean, and it's like weird to get that on a much smaller scale when they visit us in San Diego. I think everything's just normal to us around there, but when someone walks in that's been watching for 3-4 years, it's like it's their first time, so it's cool to like watch people have that moment themselves, meeting other free skaters.
Yeah.
So I think that is also something that's a perfect segue into another one of mine, which is running into new faces and free skaters, even if it's not traveling. Like sometimes I feel like we'll just be out skating and then some dude from Freeline will hit us up and they'll be like, hey, like I know what those are. Or maybe they're on the skates themselves. Or just this past week, we had a guy from Japan that came all the way here to just hang out with us and talk to us. And I don't know. I feel like it's really easy to get along with free skaters no matter who they are because we all have that shared thing. So being able to suddenly make a new, like, really good friend on first contact is, I feel like, really unique. As far, like, I don't know. I haven't experienced that anywhere else in life where it's literally everyone. So meeting faces for me is like been a huge thing over the last 3 years. It's pretty constant. Like you meet a new person and it's great.
Yeah, there's already that feeling of like that you know them a little bit, even though it's brand new. You've never seen them before, even if they're not active on social media, you don't know them. You just have that connection because you're in the free skate community. You know what it took to learn how to ride, and there's just this familiarity that just bonds you right away.
And if they're a watcher of the videos already, I feel like they feel like they've already been hanging out with you on the journey with you. And like the guy that visited us had been watching our videos for the entire time that he'd been free skating. So he was very much friends with us from his perspective. So it was just cool it's cool to have that connection every single time.
Go ahead. Comment.
There's a comment coming in from Chris B. I'll highlight it when it shows up. I think the fact that free skates takes such dedication to learn, that's where some of that bond comes from. Yeah,
you've been through it together. Yep.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think touching on the first point that you brought up about, seeing another free skater in the wild, as you might call it. I had a friend from here in San Diego that traveled to Spain recently, and she was out with her family and just randomly saw somebody riding them down the street. We actually posted it in our JMK story on Instagram, but she's like, oh my gosh, I just saw someone riding your skates and like in northern Spain. And I was like, that's awesome.
Wow.
So more and more experiences like that are welcome.
Was that one of our Barcelona riders or?
No, I'll look at what the city was that they were in, but I think they were headed to Barcelona later, and I told them that we had a nice little contingent there as well.
Tex says, I've met a person up in Oceanside who used to ride the OG free lines. He was super stoked to see that the JMKs have grind plates. That's cool to it is cool to meet up with those people because sadly for many they've given up on the sport or they kind of just let them sit around and they don't even know about JMK. So then when they see the skates are still alive and they still exist in a much better form and potentially stronger community, they're usually stoked. So there's somebody that came in today with free lines and got his first set JMKs, right?
Nice. Yeah, he had pros, I think. Yep. We are here. We are welcoming and accepting OG riders and all.
Let's see. I think we can move on to speaking of skates and free lines and JMKs. One of John's favorite moments of that. You know which one I'm referring to.
Yeah. During the dark days, I call them, after the last company, Freeline, went out of business. That's kind of when we started developing our own designs with JMK and kind of seeing it go from paper, hypothetically paper to this prototype in my hand. You know, we open the box and see the decks, and they were like chrome at that time, no colors added yet, and just seeing like all the little details that we had, you know, asked all the pro riders from that time, like what do you think that like the freeline skates needed? What upgrades would you have wanted? And then trying to implement them in a design that was different enough to be unique and kind of our own brand, and see it in our hands for the first time, and then watch Maddie be able to rip on them. That was just a really, really special feeling, and it kind of like brought us out of those dark days where, you know, we thought that, oh, okay, the sport's just gonna die, and it kind of gave us that recharge feeling.
Cool. Yeah, I think I couldn't even imagine what that would be like, because I obviously wasn't the person that put pen to paper and figured it out and then made something of it. But I can kind of relate in, I would say, what is my next favorite moment, which is I started at ISU with knockoff Amazon skates, so cheap skates, really stiff. It's just what I learned and got used to on, and the buddy that taught me, JC, I'll probably talk about this in a future episode along with him, but there was this moment where there's a couple moments. So we had bonded through the skates, through the knockoff skates, and then I ran into him on campus one day. He sat me down. He's like, Gabe, flipped his laptop open. It's like, hey, I got to show you this website. And it was JMKRIDE.com or whatever it was at the time. It's like, these guys are, you know, making these skates. And it showed the 4 co-founders. I was like, who the heck are these guys? And he's like, I think I'm going to buy some. So he pressed purchase. And then like a few days later, we're on the steps of the library on campus, all giddy, opening this box. So we put the skates together, and rode them for the first time, and we were just amazed by the quality. So that was my first experience. That was far before I even bought my own. So my first time seeing JMKs, and then one by one, some of the members of the club were buying them, and I would conjoin that moment with my first time unboxing my own Freeskates. Just unboxing JMKs for the first time, I would say in general, is a pretty good moment. I know that's not, you know, while I've been on the journey with the company, but it's my journey as a free skater, that is something that I think we can all relate with. So that's crazy that your first time unboxing JMKs was like the first JMK unboxing, potentially, at least in the US.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, and I think it's really cool because, you know, coming up with everything from nothing, essentially, like we had to create our own box, inserts, how are we going to package them, how are they going to assemble, just from the ground up, literally from nothing to something. It's just such a cool feeling to kind of see all that come to fruition and be able to be shared with everyone.
Yeah, that's really cool. And it's not quite the same with some other products. I would say JMK is probably the Freeskates are the most exciting thing, but we have had a little bit of, oh, we designed this backpack, or we designed this new thing. So it's nice to get that little bit of that feeling comes back, I think, when you design a new thing. So,
yeah, and more to come. More to come. We're not done designing things, and we have things they're on the way.
Or like, I don't know, say like Kyoki has some new designs for shirts, and we print those, and it's like, oh, we all have new shirts now. We get to give them to the community and stuff, and then we have some attachments for the skates that I don't know how much detail to go in on, but there's some different things that we're excited about, and that's always a fun thing. And I think just not even new products, but product in general, I would say unboxing product, like when we're maybe out of stock of some things and we get this massive shipment, that's always it's stressful kind of because you have all this stuff to manage, but it's also exciting because you get to rip open boxes, see what color you get, and I don't know. I personally think.
Yeah, no, we make a day out of it. We get to take some fun pictures laying on boxes, and you know, cheer the delivery guy when he comes in with his crates, and that's a lot of fun. It kind of is a little behind the scenes action of what we get to do, and you know, our joys that we have of actually doing all the behind the scenes work. It's a lot of fun for us and kind of rewarding to see all the hard work that that went into getting those and having them here so we can offer tons and tons and tons of colors.
Yes. More colors, the better. Chris B says, I bet you were emotional.
Yeah, absolutely.
Opening that first box after the design.
Yeah, it was a very surreal feeling that, like, it's here. It's here. Yeah, it's a special feeling, and I'm glad that everything has happened the way that it has, and we're here where we are now.
I think we can move on to the next thing. How could we transition from that?
I would say opening one box and then another door.
Yes. So opening the door, I'm assuming John is referring to one of a huge moment for, I think, all four of us at the time was when we got the key to our new office space at JMK headquarters, because for the longest time we were, for those that don't know, in John's garage. It's a tiny little space. It was basically an inventory house with inventory storage with computers on the very edge. Typical startup, or what I would imagine a startup to look like. And then, so getting after, was that a year of that, or I forget? Getting close to a year of that.
Yeah, pretty close.
And more for you because you had been there, but for me I was working in that place for close to a year, and then John finally sends the text, I have the key, and we all head down and check out this dirty space that needed a ton of work.
It was bad.
Definitely had potential. So John gave us the tour. We have some videos of this. Maybe we can put in some form of video in the future or something. But we took phone clips. You walk in, it's the storefront first. I mean, for those of you that have watched our tour of JMK and where we work, you can kind of envision this. Just imagine it a lot more dirty and less color. So we saw the storefront space, kind of envision how that would be, walk into the office area, and then walk into the skate area. And immediately we just started skating, even though the ground was just filthy, kind of just testing the waters. It's turned into what it has today, which is just, I don't know, the feeling of just seeing that place for the first time was exciting, of how much stuff we're going to do out of this space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was the company that had the space before us was a custom concrete company, so they literally could give a crap about the entire place. The walls had holes in them, the floors were disgusting, just dirt and dust everywhere, on the ceiling, in the beams, everything you can imagine. And we literally spent weeks just cleaning it up, painting it, did all the work ourselves. And so we kind of take a little extra pride in how it looks now. It's still not the greatest looking place ever, but it's, it's our place, it's our home, and we couldn't be happier with it.
Pretty sure I've even made it my home at certain points. Stayed up a couple nights, late nights editing. There's a lot of memories. I mean, there's the memory of securing the place, but then the memories that took place along the way up until now inside the place. So I'd say one of those is one of our next favorite moments, which is building the JMK ramp with Kyoki Shimada, which is he's another co-founder. For those of you, I'm assuming all 5 of you in here at the moment know who Kyoki is. He's the K on our skates, and he is an architect and a pretty
awesome dude.
Pretty awesome dude. That's another word for it. I was going to say something else. Kyoki's awesome. We love Kyoki, and he made the trip during the pandemic to build this ramp over a span of 3 days. So just letting him take the reins and pick out the pieces of wood at Home Depot, and tell us what he needs, and all putting hands together for this thing to get built was awesome. I filmed a lot of it. I put a single screw in the ramp, so I'd like to say I helped out there, but
you had a piece.
Had to film the process as well. I think to this point, I mean, we've definitely shared stuff on social media, but I don't know if we've made a dedicated montaged what went into the ramp videos.
No, because we have the video. We had the GoPro going the whole time.
Yeah. So I was gonna say we posted something, but that's Davin building. That could be another moment as well. But
yeah,
let's focus on the ramp for now. It was just in watching Kyoki like skate it for the first time. I think he about froze. I froze. Okay.
Yeah.
Kyoki, I think, laughed at first because like the ramp was quick, and I'm sure he was expecting it to be quick, but like trying to drop in for the first time and being slammed to the other side is like really jarring and abrupt. So I think they were just having fun with how hilariously quick that ramp is. It was before it was painted. I think not all the board, so you could still see part of the frame. They were riding it just to see how it was. And it took them 3 days, which is amazing. So
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
So the ramp is 5.5 feet tall with only 1.5 feet of flat. So you're literally up and down before you even know what's happening. Yeah. And even Kyoki, who's the one who literally designed it and built it, essentially, he even thought it was intense. So it's definitely not a ramp for the beginner class, but
as we've seen,
Matty loves it, and essentially that's who it was built for, so we could get content with Matt and just have a ramp in our office. And
it was definitely cool to get perspective on ramp building in general. I know Kyoki's built a ramp or several ramps on larger scales in Japan, and so he definitely has the experience. But to just watch the frame to come together and how all the pieces, I don't know, work together, because when we were at Home Depot, I was like thinking, how is all this going to turn into a JMK ramp?
Yeah,
and one by one, everything made sense.
The three sheets for the ramp base, like just different thicknesses for each one. Each one has its place, has its home. All the little tiny pieces on the bottom to level out the ramp, because the ground here wasn't level. So a lot went into it, and like you said, all in 3 days. Having an architect on the team does not suck.
Kyoki can do anything, it seems like. I definitely had my Kyoki's last night there. I slammed pretty hard trying to drop in on it, but Kyoki is very supportive and motivating, and eventually I got my first time dropping in. I made a video somewhere on YouTube about that, and then never again have I dropped in on that thing. Maybe we need to make some JMK vid on it. Hopefully I don't get hurt. I don't know, because a lot of beginners have tried that ramp thinking, I've done it at the skate park, so obviously I can do it on this. And it's a different beast. So
should I throw Jeff under the bus?
Let's do it.
Yeah, so funny, not funny story was Kyoki's riding the ramp for one of the first times, and Jeff thought it would be funny to throw a ping pong ball across the ramp, which unfortunately Kyoki did not know what it was and saw an object in his peripheral vision and bailed off the side of the ramp and hit the floor hard. And so we had pretty much our first fall on the first night that we
I remember
it could have been avoided so easily, but
we have a video of that. Do we have footage?
No security cams yet, so no.
We weren't filming with the phone?
I don't know. Probably something we should look up.
I have that visual like in my brain, so I guess to me it seems like it was on a video somewhere, but
probably. Kyoki is so nice though that he just kind of took it, sat down, recovered. Don't do that.
I know we talked about traveling, but I'd say, we touched on China a bit, but I don't know if you want to touch on Japan. I know one that we can both touch on is Mexico.
We could start Japan and then transition.
Okay. All you on Japan. I haven't been yet.
So Japan and China in the atmosphere is completely different. China is a much more intense, like full production contest. Like Gabe knows, like there's people who run it, there's lighting, there's everything you can imagine there, and it's legit contest. when we go to Japan, it's much more like kind of family hangout, skate. You know, we do have competition as well, but it's just a much more like we're gathering with our best friends and hanging out and skating, and just such a different atmosphere. And they're both super fun, and we love both of them. But Japan, you know, since, you know, Kyoki is our other co-founder, it's just kind of a real special thing for us to go and visit with them.
Yeah, it sounds like in a weird way. I don't know if this connection can be made, but you frozen? No. The vibe of Chinese skaters versus Japanese skaters, just because they definitely have different flows and different styles of free skating, I feel like it kind of correlates with the
atmosphere there.
The atmosphere of the competition, because everything is really hardcore and serious at the Chinese competitions, and the vibes that I've gotten from the Japanese videos is everything's pretty lax, pretty calm. Like you said, hanging out with your buddies, like it's still major talent on all ends.
Oh,
of course, the Japanese
crazy.
are also there for the Chinese competition, but yeah, pretty low key for the Japanese competition. It seemed like everyone's kind of in a smaller space. Maybe there's some awards or whatever, and
yep,
hey, and go hang out.
Yeah,
for the time.
Yeah. Both great times, both very, very different, unique experiences, and I recommend both. They're absolutely awesome.
Yes. Chris B says, waiting for you to line the walls with 70s shag carpet. And the oh, what?
Talking about your LEDs and
oh no, I think he was talking about the walls of the JMK space.
Oh, well, I guess we could probably do that. We'll decorate Matt's area like that.
Yeah, Matt would love it.
You can do his push-ups down there like that.
Yeah.
Shag carpet.
Matt's always doing push-ups whenever we get an order. Yep, the JMK office. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, we'll talk to Matt about that.
Chris, you gotta come out. You gotta come out here and show us where we could put it. We could put it at the top of the ramp. We've got nothing up there. Nobody ever sees that area. That'll be some nice thick shag carpet hanging up there.
Or put some of that fake grass where you stand on top of the ramp. I don't know.
AstroTurf. Yeah.
So I'd say, what can we move to? I think
Mexico.
Mexico. Forgot about that. Yes. So we've mentioned this in another podcast or two. We've made a couple quick montages of it, but essentially it was like right towards the beginning of all this stuff that went on in the world. The Japanese came over for a long planned trip down to San Diego so that we could cross the border into Mexico and make a stay on a beach resort. And it was a week long of skating and fun and hanging out with the Japanese. And that and when I say Japanese, I'm referring to Kyoki and his family, plus Tsukasa, which is he's a very talented pro rider for JMKRIDE. So the five of them came and spent a week with us, and that was just another experience of, okay, we're here in person with other free skaters, very talented free skaters that we're very close friends with, and it's something that does not happen often, especially over the last close to 2.5 years, so, or 3 years at this point almost. So yeah, it was amazing to have that last, I don't know, taste of socialization before everything happened. And who better to do that with than these very close friends of ours, Kyoki, Rina, their kids, and then Tsukasa.
Yep. We even found a skate park down there. We went to a place called Puerto Peñasco. Found a skate park down there, and I think one of the biggest things for me was when we were at the skate park, and I think we were there for like probably 2 hours, and we decided to go back and eat at the house, and then they're like, okay, can we go back now? I was like, oh really? You guys want to? We skated for 2 hours. You guys? Yeah. They're like, oh, yeah, we want to work on some more things. Like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, that was great. I loved going to that skate park with them, and just any chance I get to film somebody of that level, especially if it's someone new, like, yeah, Maddie's cool. Like, you can do a few things on the skates. And Jeff, I guess, he can throw a skate or two, but like when it's with somebody you don't get to spend time with and watch and not even film, just like visualize from anyone's perspective and just watch them work and do tricks and skate and flow. It's super fun to just see that. So filming Sakasa, watching Rena just smoothly flow through the bowls and Kyoki do his flips and grabs and whatever, and watching Maddie have a blast with all of them because he's of course having the time of his life. So it's a fun time, and it's always new. So any future trips that we go on as a team plus community, it's going to be a whole lot more of that. So I'd say I think one of the last ones I have on my list for our favorite memories is it happened recently, which is social media milestones. So we could probably go way back to, is it 10K on YouTube or 10K on Instagram? I don't know what the first one was. Maybe it was even 5K on Instagram, but
yeah, I think it was like 10K on YouTube was a huge one. I think just getting that extra zero on there was very nice. I know, especially for you being the content creator for that.
Yeah, no, it was great because like I come on here and we start at, I don't know, it might have been 3,000, 5,000. I don't know how much it was, but hitting 10K was pretty solid, and then 15K, and then now close to 19K. I think steady growing. Who knows if and when it'll explode? Excited for that. But it's definitely steady growth, and more and more people every day. I would say the bigger milestone to talk about. Well, let's start with 50K on Instagram. We thought was like, this is huge because we're sitting at, 30 something K on Instagram, which is a big community as it is. Very happy about that, but it's like, it just wasn't going much of anywhere. And then suddenly we hit 50K. We think, oh, this is insane. But then I think it was just a few weeks later, we hit 100K on Instagram.
Yeah.
Recently, which was like massive. And then we're at like 132K right now. So just watching the community suddenly grow through the success of it's mainly Instagram reels right now that are really being pushed out to people. And people are seeing the content more and more. This is kind of a separate moment, I think, that I've really enjoyed is lately running into people and they say, hey, I saw this video of somebody riding them on Instagram. And I'm like, oh, okay. I posted that. That's super cool that that got on your phone and you could see it, and just our stuff getting out to more and more people, and more people finding out about the sport and pressing follow is really cool. And then it's been a little slower on TikTok, but we've definitely had moments on there as well. Like that's been the most insane. Like we weren't used to growing fast on any platform, and then I'm like, hey, we should download TikTok. And one by one, we're getting followers, and then somehow we hit, 10K, 50K, 100K, and then now 500 and something K, over 500,000 people on there.
18 million likes.
Yeah, so we've had our moments of growth for sure on there. It comes and goes as with most platforms, frustratingly so. But the numbers, especially all combined on all platforms, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's more eyes on the sport and more people kind of seeing what we fell in love with, and they're like, whoa, you get your internet haters, but for the most part it's people just kind of who had the first look that we did when we first saw Freeskates. It's like, what in the world are those are so incredibly unique, and I want to try them.
Yes, I love that.
One caveat, Gabriel, if you have been looking at TikTok and recently Instagram, and you see first time, that is literally the only video that TikTok will put out to people from us in the last 2 weeks.
It's funny.
So we'll stop making it when they start letting our other videos work.
Yeah, that was a cool moment in itself. I think we were at Linda Vista Skate Park, and I think we didn't really have anything to post for that day, or we hadn't really planned it. And I think we were hanging out with Stefan.
Yeah.
Stefan.
Stefan, yeah.
And his parents at the skate park. You all know who that is. Having a good time, but like, we got to get a TikTok out. And Maddie was like, just use this sound from Family Guy. And I was like, you're crazy.
No.
But we had our friend Mark film it, and Maddie floats to the bowl, comes up, and it's a whole skit. It lasts maybe 10 seconds. And we put it up. And then we make our little video at the skate park. That's on YouTube as well at Linda Vista. And we didn't think much of it. And then Maddie checks TikTok. It's like, holy crap, Gabe. Like, look at this. And it's just going and going. And I think right now it's our most viewed video at, I think it's 30-something million views.
35 or something.
So that success trickles to the following videos and then eventually, flatlines. And then one day we're like, what the heck? Let's just use that same trend again, the same skit, the same audio. That pops. And then we use it again. That pops. And eventually there's people in our comments getting a little annoyed, like, hey.
Yeah. Stop it. Stop it now.
Get creative. I don't know. It's frustrating when you try to post something and, it's not received as well. It doesn't please the algorithm. So it's not enough people see it. Not necessarily that it's not enough, but less than we would like based on that previous success. So I think we've hammered into that audio enough times. I'm looking forward to whenever we find whatever that next thing is.
Yeah. And Gabe and others put a lot of time and effort into those to try and make them appealing. And so when something pops off, it's kind of gratifying to see that the hard work has paid off. And I think especially you here listening, if you have any ideas or anything you want to see from us,
always send them
we
over.
Are always, yes.
Someone that I can name off, and maybe he just joined. I noticed the number went up a little bit. All 7 of you here, by the way. First of all, if you're liking the video or the stream, please do drop a like and let us know that you're here, because we haven't had 7 people say hi yet. 6 people say hi yet. But one person that I was going to mention was Jack Napeck. He's visited us. I've spent a couple sessions with him, and he's sometimes sending over ideas of, I saw this, you should totally use this, and then I use it and it does well. So feel free to, if anybody has ideas, we're always down to try and use them and see what happens.
Yeah, we want to make the content you want to see. So
yeah. So social media milestones have been really cool. Those will obviously continue to happen at some rate or other. We'll see. Hopefully faster than slower, because we want to see this community grow. One of the last things on my list is weekly meetups at Balboa. That's more of a I'd say a weekly moment that happens that we all look forward to each and every week. I'd say for a ton of reasons. I mean, it's just fun to spend time with other free skaters, but for the longest time, I think we talked about how, Freeline used to have these meetups in PB, and it was really fun, and we need to do that too. And then when we tried it, the whole whatever hit the fan, and
gatherings.
The world got shut down. So that was kind of demotivating, but eventually, things are getting a little bit more lax, and we decided to start up the meetups again and did them at the Air and Space Museum. And it's been going ever since, every week on Thursdays, and just a ton of things about that, getting to teach people, getting to meet new free skaters, getting to watch them teach each other. And it's just something we look forward to every single week, because it's a fun time.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest factors in why it's so successful right now is the location change. Where I learned here in PB, we had a hill over in Crown Point at the Bay, and it was steep. It was a great place to learn. However, the cars were constantly coming, so you'd be learning and not know how to step off or how to turn, and a car would come, everybody yelled car, and you have to stop. So it was just very disruptive and not a great location. It was nice because it was close and everybody was hanging out in PB anyway, but the change to the Balboa Park Air and Space Museum is great. There's a parking lot right there. It's a phenomenal surface. The area is large. It's got places to learn how to turn left, learn how to turn right. There's essentially a track around it where you can work on going uphill, downhill. It's just perfect.
Yeah, there's no better place for it. I haven't found it. I There's, I don't know, there's places like Sabita Park and stuff, but no, this place is like the best for the meetups, and all you need to join them at some point or other. Plan your trip
here.
Yeah, plan your trips around this event and the following event on Friday mornings, which is the other thing we look forward to every week. Those are always a blast. Friday morning skates. Then eventually we make our way back to work to do productive stuff. But that's always a fun time. Always teaching new people, and pretty cool moment every single week. And it looks like Crispy read our minds, or we read his. I don't know. I hadn't checked the comments for a bit, but I'm noticing Crispy said, "Curious how y'all started your weekly skate lessons at the museum. If there's a story about it." Yeah, I think we just wanted that place to meet up because we Freeland had did it. We tried to do it, and kind of, it kind of failed because of the thing going on, and yeah, that's all. We just wanted that space to meet every week. Again, and it's been successful. So I think that is actually the last point.
Yeah, I think one thing to add on that, though, I think the lessons are such a core part of the free skating community, and I know there's other people in other areas who teach people on their own. I know Pearl does it over in Boston, and it's just such a key thing because, as we all know, there's such a unique learning curve to these skates. So if we can impart our knowledge and share that with other people who want to learn, and they can go out and teach someone else, then there's more people doing the sport that we love. So the lessons have been really key. And I think the last couple of weeks, there's been upwards of 30 people who have come. So it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's been super successful, super consistent. People are telling their friends about it, and yeah, it definitely has momentum. So it would be cool to see that in other areas as well. Yeah, I think that is the last point that I had. I think that was about 10. I kind of lost count, but
10 with some fun mixed in.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff. JMK has been a fun thing to work on with all of us together and the community involved as well. And I, of course, look forward to whatever else this sport brings for us and everyone. So, that, unless anybody has anything to add, I believe that has been episode 33 of this podcast. Ending a little bit early on this one. Please feel free to leave a like, comment. And episode 34 will be same time next week, unless otherwise mentioned on socials, 3 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesday. All right. See you guys later.
With us.
Well, with us.